Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 9 of the Stringing It Together podcast. Yay! I am Becky, your host, coming to you from Frankfurt, Germany. And yeah, if you are new, you won't notice this, but if you're returning, we have kind of a new setup because I thought just white wall behind me was sort of boring. So I reorganized my room and it's kind of a mess right now, but I organized my stash this week and I figured why not have a yarny background. So hopefully you can kind of see it. It's still sort of angled because I have it higher up on my shelves so that the cats can't get to it. Yeah. And speaking of which, you might hear some cats eating during this show. One of my cats was very sick this weekend. She's feeling better, but I have her food in my room now because I'm just sort of monitoring her. Okay, so welcome back, everyone. We have a cat that wants to jump up here. You can find me on social media as Sopranoknits on Instagram and also on Ravelry. And we also have a Ravelry group for the podcast that is called the Stringing It Together podcast group. So if you search for that over in the groups tab, you will find us. And yeah, you definitely probably want to come over there because we are running a knit along right now. Yay! It's our first knit along and it is called the Swatch Studio Cal. And it is named that because that is the name of the knitwear design program that Françoise Denoy runs of Aroha Knits, and I participated in that when it was still in its beta testing. And yeah, I just thought it would be a great way to get some brand new designers out there and get people knitting their stuff. And we already have some finished objects in there. It's really exciting. Lots of people are knitting my red herring hat, so thank you so much for those of you that have purchased the pattern. There are some discount codes for the patterns over in the Ravelry group, so make sure to check that out. And there are also a ton of amazing prizes. And that is all linked in the Ravelry group. There are 2 threads. One of them, I think, just says the designs thread. So go and look at that one. And in the first post has all the discount codes and also a link to the prizes, which are numerous and really, really, really amazing. So you definitely want to enter. Do it. Is that all I wanted to say about that? I think so. Oh, the dates. It started on October 10th, and it is going until December 10th, so you still have a ton of time to get over there and do it. So do it. Join us. It'll be fun. Okay, good. I feel like my hair is too tight to my head. Does that look better? Okay. Distraction. Great. So I am just going to jump right into the knitting, which hopefully I'll have over here. I have 2 FOs. Yay! One of them is my drift hat. So this is a hat by Andrea Mowry, and I call it my carpal tunnel hat because I literally do have carpal tunnel in my right wrist, and doing all of these cables and knitting through the back loop and stuff gave me carpal tunnel. So yeah. So I just had to knit it little by little. I couldn't do many rows in a day, but I really like how it turned out. I went down a needle size. She recommended, it's on DK weight yarn. I think the pattern called for size 4s for the brim and size 5 for the body, but I knit one of her hats before and it turned out huge. So I went down. So I did a 3 and it didn't ask for a twisted rib on the pattern. That was a modification I made. And the rest, I followed the pattern. It's not perfect. There are a couple mistakes in here, but whatever. I almost didn't do this sort of X square top because I thought it might look funny, but then I decided to try something new, and it was pretty pointy when I first cast it off, but then I just blocked the top of it and blocked it over my yarnet, which my yarnet is up there, so that it was more rounded. I don't block my hats anymore because I don't know, I just have a bad habit of stretching out hand knit hats, so I'm pretty careful with them. But yeah, I really like how it turned out. This is my first Stellina yarn project. First one ever. The yarn is Western Sky Knits, and it's on their Super Twinkle DK, and it's just the navy colorway. Southwest Superwash Merino, Nylon, and Stellina. And this was part of the Periscoping Sisters birthday swap back in March. So I love it a lot. I got this from Jen. Hi, Jen, who lives in Texas, and got me this at, Dallas Fiber Fest, I think she went to. So I super love it. I'll show you what it looks like on. I'm not normally a sparkly girl. Some other people have said this recently, but I think I can rock this hat. And actually, I already have been a little bit. So I really like it. That's my hat. My other, well, it's not a complete FO. Oh, and this is actually the project bag that I got in the same swap that Jen made. That's my cat trying to jump. Not only on my bed, but under the covers. She likes to hide there. She's weird. Oh, and thank you guys that saw it on my Instagram that she was sick, and for all the kind messages. I think she's better now, but she threw up like 7 times during an hour, so that was scary. I think she's okay. Yeah, okay. Yep. Ta-da! So I have a hoe. Yeah. This is in... I was really good and remembered my ball bands today. This is Regia from the Arnie and Carlos line. It's number 240, but they don't put the names on it in Germany, but I looked it up, and it is the Island colorway. And then this is also just some Regia in white or cream or whatever for the heels, cuffs, and toes. And I really, really like how this sock turned out. I wouldn't normally gravitate toward these colors, just in the ball. Not really my colors, but that's what I would think, but I was wrong because I really enjoy it. It's just kind of wintry, and also I wasn't sure about going with the cream because I feel like that's not my normal go-to, but I really, really like how it looks. Yeah, so I knit these on my high sharps, 9-inch circulars. This is where I'm at on the second one. You can see it's time to put the heel in. I'm not making these ones match. I think that the repeats are, although I didn't really notice that they kind of almost match. Well, not really. Anyway, I'm not making the match, whatever, I don't care. So I'm gonna put the heel in. It's a Fish Lips Kiss heel. And a rounded toe, and I think that's all you need to know about that. 1.5s, 1x1 rib, whatever. And okay, so the only 2 kinds of heels that I've done are a just normal dropped heel, I guess, the heel flap, and a Fish Lips Kiss heel. I really like knitting this one because I think it's easy and I hate picking up stitches, but some people have talked about the fit recently, and I guess I never really thought about it, but normally it's not actually sitting on my heel when I'm wearing my socks that have this heel. So if you guys have more suggestions for other heels I should try, do let me know. Try something new. Okay, but anyway, so these will definitely be done by next time I see you. She says, now, famous last words, we'll see. But yeah, and this is what I had left for my hat. So I have a fair amount. I haven't weighed it yet, but I don't know what I'll do with that. So that is FOs. Okay. I'm missing a whip. Where is it? It's in my drawer. Okay. So my first whip is my cast on for our knit along. So this is, it's probably gonna be hard to see because it's a lace pattern and a darker yarn, but this is the This Way Please pattern by Rebecca Milton, And yeah, it's a cool lacy pattern, and it has these triangles that are laciness. Sorry, this is a mess. There you go. So this is the first one. I haven't gotten super far, but I'm really enjoying it. She doesn't recommend what needles to knit it on insofar as double points versus magic loop versus whatever. I was pretty sure I didn't want to do it on my 9-inch circulars because I knit Hermione's everyday socks on them, and just any pattern that is more than vanilla, I think it's just too ugh. So I tried it on DPNs, but then some of the like yarn overs kept falling in between the DPNs because they move around. And I just felt like that was fiddly because I was afraid I was going to drop one. And I did a couple times actually. So then I decided to magic loop. And I haven't done very many socks on magic loop, so I needed needles. So I went and picked these up locally. These are carbons. They call it Knit Pro here, but it's Knitter's Pride in the US, I think. And these are 2.25 millimeter, which is a US 1.5, which is usually my needle of choice. So that's how those are going, and I'm excited for them. And the yarn was yarn that was gifted to me by Annie. And this is it. I've never used it before. It's just kind of a normal German sock yarn. There's the color if anyone's interested. But it's just sort of this like, yeah, it's showing up pretty true. Just a nice like burgundy color, which is perfect for fall. So I'm excited for these socks. There is no way that I'm gonna have enough socks for a box of socks this year. Gabby was talking about this once upon a corgi as well. I have gifted a couple pairs of socks. I only started knitting socks this year. It's just not going to happen, and that's okay. It's fine. More for the rest of you. Maybe next year. Or we can have like a half box of socks. Okay. Let's just move on. After I drink some tea. This is drinking caramel apple pie tea. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Candace of Pin Feathers and Pearls has had this tea. Someone sent it to her in a swap, I think, from Germany. It's tea kana. You can find it pretty much anywhere here, but it's really appley, so it's good. Really appley. That's kind of keeping me company since I haven't been able to find pumpkin anything. I looked everywhere for a pumpkin candle, everywhere. And despite finding a humongous Yankee Candle display in one of the department stores here, they literally had everything except for pumpkin. They had some Halloween themed things that were like candy corn or witch's brew, whatever that is, and they had Christmas candles, but no pumpkin. I'm pissed. It's the worst. You don't realize how much you like pumpkin stuff until you can't have it. Anyway, let's talk about my Sizzle Pop, which last week was in a sorry state. But this week, I'm happy to report that it is happy again. So it's getting big. It's happening. This is the other side. Sizzle Pop by Leslie Ann Robinson. And this is the progress I've made since last week. You can see where my little Ann Tudor ladybug is that doesn't want to stay the right way. Yeah. So I've done a fair amount on it. Yeah, so what had happened last week is that the pattern was looking wrong after I'd put it down for over a month, and I wasn't sure why. So I had to rip back, and I mean like take my needles out, rip. And I think I just made some dumb mistake. I'm pretty sure I knew what I did. So anyway, I fixed it and I kept going, and I'm a little bit grateful for that mistake because now I understand the construction of it better. It wasn't that I didn't understand it before, I just didn't take the time to really think about it. So now it's a little bit more mindless. I still refer to the pattern on every row just because I want to be sure of what I'm doing, but it now makes a lot more sense when I look at it. So yeah, it's hard to tell how much more I have to do on this. I mean, obviously it's growing. It's not totally mindless, but I can do it while I'm watching a podcast or a TV show or something. But the balls of yarn are getting smaller. It's Tosh Merino Light in Earl Grey and Candlewick. They're awesome. So I'm really excited to have it, but I'm kind of tired of knitting it. But I'm going to try to push through because I really want to wear it, and it's really autumnal and beautiful, and I want it. Like, oh, look at that. It's going to look so good. So, trucking away. Hopefully I'll have... I'm not going to make any weird promises about my progress on that. Okay. Last but not least, my Portage cardigan, which is living in my Hannah Lisa bag that I talked about last time and raved about. And I realized that I accidentally forgot to mention that she has donated a bag for the knit along. And she had donated it before, and I knew that, but I just forgot because there are a lot of prizes. And that's why I haven't talked about all of them. Also, I don't physically have any of them. We're kind of just doing it that the maker is sending all of the patterns or all of the prizes. But that's why I'm saying just go look at the thing. There's a ton of yarn that's being donated. There are project bags, there are patterns. I'm really jealous. Really, really jealous that I cannot enter. So you should. Anyway, Hannah Lisa, and she just had a bag update. And I think there are a couple left. They sold pretty well, but again, I'm still in love with this bag. I just smelled it because it still has lavender in it. I still love it. It's perfect for this humongous project. This had not gotten very much love because I was kind of bored with it. Not bored with it, but just bored knitting on it. Until the last couple days, I just kind of went for it, and I got a couple inches done. So this is where I was, and this is where I am now. So I have a couple more inches, like really like 1 or 2 inches left of sort of what I'm doing here, and then there's a bunch of ribbing at the bottom. And then I get to do my first tubular bind off. Crazy. So that is it. It's looking good. I messed up the increases, but I just didn't do them evenly because I kept just knitting and knitting and knitting and forgetting to count. But no one will see that. It's fine. It's really okay. I don't know where that stitch marker came from. I have made some mistakes in this. So I have had to do some ripping out. I just made some really dumb mistakes. But that's okay. It's fine now. But again, like, I am a little bit sad about this, that you can't really see the texture very well in the back because of the speckliness. But maybe once I block it, it'll be better because it's sort of this like honeycomby. You can't see it. That's okay. It smells woolly and delicious. It's squishalicious, but I have so much more to do. This is DK weight, and this is not even 3 skeins yet. I still have, this is the second skein I started, and that one's close to being done, and this one I still have like half of. And I have 4 more skeins. It's gonna take a long time. But my unofficial goal is that I am going to London at the end of November to hang out with Nathan, who's my boyfriend, and his entire family. Well, by entire family, I mean his mom and his brothers. And I think their girlfriends too are all coming over around American Thanksgiving, and they're staying in London for 2 weeks. So I'm not gonna be there for 2 weeks, but I can go for like 5 days because I have a little break in my schedule, and it would be awesome to try to have this done for that trip. So that's sort of my like, get my ass in gear and finish it goal. That's a lot of knitting. We'll see. Okay, so that's it for knitting progress. I feel like I did a fair amount these past 2 weeks, which I'm not really sure is a good thing. I think I've been sort of like holing up in my apartment and being scared of I'm not scared. I don't feel scared. I don't know. I haven't been like grabbing life in Germany by the horns. I don't think. So yeah, okay. Anyway, acquisitions. I also don't have very much because I'm trying not to acquire. But I did buy some needles. They're not all in these packages, but I got another set of US 4 3.5 millimeter Haya Sharp tips because I'm always using more than one of them, it seems. And the ones that are on my Sizzle Pop shawl even have a little dent in them because I've used them so much. So I just bought another pair of tips for that. They're not even in there. Why am I showing you this package? I got the carbons that I showed you. These are pretty expensive in Germany. But Addies are cheap, but I don't like Addies. I feel so bad for all of you guys that love Addies. They're so cheap here. And then I got some Knit Pro Zings in a US 1. So I can try these for socks as well in the future. They're red, whatever. These are a little bit cheaper because these are Europe only. Actually, these are like half the price of carbons, which I thought was weird. And then the only other thing, this was a surprise gift from my friend Virginia, who I had gone to Loop and bought yarn for her at Loop. I just said that. Anyway, she went to a yarn store in town and she got me my first Zauberball. Ah, look at it. I've never knit with one of these before, but you've probably all have seen them. I see them a lot in the US, but they're really expensive there and they're a lot more affordable here apparently. But yeah, I thought these colors are going to be super duper awesome. So I don't know what they'll be. Maybe socks. This is the Frische Fische, which means fresh fish, which I think is funny. Colorway. And I thought, oh my God, are they going to be self-striping? But they're actually like a gradient because I looked it up on Ravelry because I wanted to see how they'd knit up. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. I thought about maybe doing a color work project where like a white or cream is the main color and then this is whatever the pattern is, sort of in a gradient. Like that could be really cool. We'll see. Or a gray. I could even do a gray. I would just have to do maybe a light gray that's not in here. Anyway, I don't know. It might sit in my stash for a while, but thank you, Virginia. I love it, and I'm so excited to knit with it when the time comes. But right now it looks awesome sitting on my wall, on my shelf. Okay. Sorry, I'm looking at my show notes. Okay, great. So, speaking of my wall, so going with Eric of Sticks Plus Twine, I did a stash reorganization, made it look pretty, and I put everything on Ravelry, took pictures, whatever. And I even, sorry, earthquake, I had leftovers like this. I weighed them and put how much I have left and figured out the yardage and stuff. So I'm organized now. And what it kind of made me realize is that a lot of the stuff up here I don't have plans for, and that stresses me out. I'm not sure that like having a big, I mean, I know that this is not a huge stash, but to me, I think it's even more than I need to have at one time because it does sort of stress me out. And then when I do have something that I want to buy yarn for, like a specific project, I sometimes feel guilty buying the yarn because I'm like, I have all this yarn at home, but maybe it doesn't go with that project, or I don't know. Some of this I bought, some of this was given to me. But usually I find that almost always I buy with some sort of idea in mind, even if it's a pretty general idea. And that helps. If I just buy something because it's pretty, it just sits there. And there's no point in that. So my plan going forward is to really try to stash down and just knit through as much of it as I can and just be a little bit less, I don't know, stingy about things. So what I mean by that is, for instance, there is this beautiful Barenwolle yarn that Annie also gifted to me. and I have 2 skeins of it. So I don't know what to do with it, but I was thinking of like, oh, I should keep it together because it's 2 skeins, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I think what I'm going to do is, okay, I knew that would happen. I have this skein of Hedgehog Film Noir, which is so beautiful. I won this in a giveaway, and I've been hoarding it because I think it's beautiful and I want to do something with it, but I don't know what. And I put these next to each other because I was thinking about what to make. Oh, I should have given a disclaimer. I don't think Nathan watches this. Maybe I'll put one earlier, like, Nathan, if you're watching this, look away now until whatever time, because I meant to do that. Anyway, hopefully he doesn't. But I was thinking about making him something for birthday, Christmas, because they're very close together for him. And I already have made him socks. He knits too, and he's made himself some things. And I just thought, what can I make him that's different than that? So I thought about, I can't remember the name of it, but I'll put it down here. I thought about that cowl that Kristen of Woolenvine is making for her husband, actually. It's just a pretty straightforward 2-color brioche cowl. And I thought that these 2 would look so beautiful, because this already had some browns in it that match, has some reds. It has a little bit of pink, but I think that just the way the brioche looks, it's not going to look feminine, because it really doesn't look feminine in the skein. And honestly, Nathan doesn't care. Like, don't you just think that's going to be beautiful brioche? And even after I decided that, I was like, but I want it for myself. But like, no, I don't have plans for it for myself, so I just need to gift it. Because then it'll make me happy to look at it. And also, he's my boyfriend, so I can like borrow it when I visit him and wear it. So I can be selfish and giving. So I think that's what that will become. And then I don't know about the other skein, but just because you have 2 skeins of something doesn't mean you have to use them together. Spread the love. So we'll see. And I'm also thinking about, I'm going to have this like island, the socks that I showed you that I finished one, this color. I'm going to have enough left to make another pair of socks because I have narrow feet, so I only use 48 stitches. And I'm thinking about making a pair of these for Nathan's mom, because the first pair of socks that I ever knit that I gave to Nathan, I was visiting them at the time, and she like freaked out and she wanted them so bad. And she is definitely knit worthy. She is a weaver, so she is always like really into what I'm knitting, and they've been really sweet to me. I'm pretty sure they're going to pay for my flight to go to London when they're visiting, and I just thought it would be really nice to knit her some socks. So yeah, that's the plan, I think, for those. I just have kind of gift knitting on the brain, even though I still want all of this things selfishly for myself. I'm going to try to break it up a little bit and make some gifts. But the other reason I'm thinking about stashing down is that, okay, everyone just went to Rhinebeck. It looked awesome. I had so much fun, like, looking at you guys at Rhinebeck. I think I want to try to go to the Edinburgh Yarn Fest in March. It's a week before my birthday, so I don't know if I'll be able to afford it, but I'm going to try to save up. So if I don't buy yarn, or almost no yarn, and like I think I'll just feel better about going and actually spending money, because otherwise I think I would feel too guilty. And I don't think other people should feel guilty. I don't think I should feel guilty either, but I just do because I'm a starving artist, and that's, you know, I'm like, maybe you should be saving for retirement instead of buying yarn, but whatever, I'll be warm at least when I'm retired. But I also want to know who else is planning on going to that, if anyone, just because it seemed like Rhinebeck was super cool because of the community and meeting people aspect, and I would really enjoy that as well. I went to Stitches once by myself, and it was cool because there was a lot of yarn there, but I felt kind of like alone wandering around. So it'd be nice to have some buddies there, is what I'm saying. So let me know if you're going, because that might help sway my decision. Cool. So in the spirit of trying to knit what I have. I'm going to not have a Skeins of My Dreams section because I'm going to be dreaming about what I already have and appreciating it. That's my current goal. But I do have a couple like wish list things that are sort of related that I wanted to talk about / get advice about from you guys. So one of them is that I kind of want a nice camera. I have a nice, I mean, it's pretty outdated now, but whatever. It still takes really nice quality pictures. I have a nice Canon DSLR. It's a Ravelry XT if anyone's interested, but that doesn't take video. And I'm thinking of, it would be nice to have something with better video, both for the podcast and for making recordings, like for music stuff. I saw that KT of Inside Number 23 just got one, and that one is really expensive, but it's awesome. And it's inspiring me, that's all. So if you guys have suggestions about cameras that you have and cameras that you like that would be good for this purpose, that would be awesome. So probably something with some sort of front-facing monitor, because, you know, otherwise I'd be like, look at this yarn, look at it, and you like wouldn't be able to see it. So it's nice to be able to see yourself to show it. And then the other thing is, I want to learn to sew. Everyone is sewing, and I want to be sewing. I think I'm kind of afraid that maybe I won't like it, or maybe I'll suck at it. I mean, I'll probably suck at it at first, but I guess I'm more afraid that I won't like it. I don't know. My roommate here has like a really old machine that needs some work done on it, and I could maybe play around with that, but I think my gut tells me that I should maybe just get my own machine and learn on it and then just sew on it. So I want to ask you guys your opinions about, or suggestions about, sewing machines for beginners that are pretty user-friendly, hopefully aren't crazy expensive, but maybe aren't the most basic one, so that I can kind of grow with it, if that makes sense. I'm not sure that it's something that's going to happen right away, but it's something that I'm thinking about, and I keep thinking about that I really want to learn to do that. I'm also just concerned about where I'm going to do that. I don't have very much space, but I do have this long desk that you guys are sitting on right now that there's like half of it that I don't use most of the time, so I could have a machine sitting there. I don't know. So talk to me about that, you sewing people. Okay, so we're almost done for today. I thought this was going to be long, but I guess I talk fast. But there is one more thing that I want to talk about. And that is, well, okay. So first of all, disclaimer, I am not meaning for this podcast to be getting political or whatever. But because this is kind of a political issue. Don't worry, it's not about the presidential stuff. But some of you may have heard and some of you may have not, because mainstream media is really not covering it. But there is currently a big protest going on in North Dakota over the Dakota Access Pipeline, which is a big oil pipeline that would carry oil, you know, a long distance, and it would go under the Missouri River, which provides, you know, clean water to millions of Americans. And it's also going through land that is Native American land that is theirs by a treaty and protected by treaties. But we don't really have a very good history of honoring those treaties. So yeah, it's going under like some burial grounds and stuff like that. My older sister, Meg. Hi, Meg. She doesn't watch this. She has been traveling around the country for the past over 2 years. And she was going to be there anyway, and then just sort of stumbled upon this when it first started happening back in April. And she's been there ever since. She had other plans, but she thought, this is important, I'm going to stay. So she has been there helping out, and she's planning to stay through the winter. There are many people staying there through the winter, and it is crazy cold already. and it's only going to get worse. So they, are accepting donations via PayPal. They also have an Amazon wish list. And she also mentioned to me that hand knitted warm winter things would be really, really useful. So yeah, I think I'm going to knit a couple of things and send them. And I just thought that I would tell you guys about it in case any of you were interested in making some items to donate as well. So I'm going to put the information up. It's the Sacred Stone Camp, and you can read about it at sacredstonecamp.org, and on their FAQ section, which my sister did, at least as part of the website. I don't know how much, she might have done a lot of it. Anyway, you can find how to help and the address to send stuff to and things like that. She had asked me if I could somehow make a color work hat or something with hashtag no DAPL on it. I've never even knit color work, let alone designed it. So I don't really see that happening. If anyone else wants to do that though, that would make her very happy. Yeah. So anyway, didn't want to get political, but just in case anyone would be interested in knitting something warm and sending it to these cool people shivering in the cold this winter in North Dakota. I just thought I would mention that, and that'll make her happy that I did. So anyway, yeah. Okay, so life. I don't know that I have that much to report. My opera opened. That's been going fine, except for we've only had 2 performances so far, and in every one, the non-alcoholic beer has gotten spilled all over the stage. So that's not so good. Oh yeah, this past weekend, I went to Rudesheim, which is on the Rhine River. It's about an hour from Frankfurt by train, with my friend Julia and my new friend Aoife, who's actually another opera singer that I met at the opera. She was sitting next to me by herself, and I started talking to her. She's Irish. She's cool. Anyway, we went out there to a wine festival for Fedeweize, which is like young wine, I guess. It was really sweet, and it was a beautiful, 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 beautiful town. So you will have seen some of that footage and pictures and stuff in the beginning. Picturesque Germany goodness. And I needed some of that because Frankfurt does not look like that. It's fine, but sometimes you want to be like, oh yeah, I'm in Europe, and it looks crazy. Yeah. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoy seeing that. Nathan's coming to visit this weekend, very, very briefly, but he's coming, so I'm excited to see him. So I'll probably start this project after he leaves so that he doesn't see it. Hopefully he's not seeing it now. He just better not watch this. I'll make sure he doesn't watch this episode. That's it. Let me know if you have suggestions about a camera or a sewing machine. Join the knit along. Join the Ravelry group. Subscribe. We have almost 600 subscribers now. Crazy. I think that's it. Keep knitting, kittens. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot. Go Cubs. Blah, 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 blah.